Alright guys, welcome back to another Operaomnia video. We're going to be talking about Exdeath, Lion, and Ciaran. Now, Exdeath will be getting a small rework and his BT weapon. Lion will be getting a rework and her LD weapon. And then Ciaran will be getting his LD extension. Now, because these three characters, there will be a lot to talk about, I decided to skip the portion where I go over exactly what their changes are and what Exdeath's BT weapon is in details with Lion's LD weapon, and just get into the should you pour portion of the video and determine whether or not it is worth pulling for each of these three characters in the upcoming banners that is going to be released with the event. But if you are curious to know exactly what are the changes that are going to be coming with these characters, I will go ahead and post up the translations that was posted that I normally read off of, that I use in my videos, that is done by Leo Bob from the main chord for Operaomnia. So shout out to him. I will go ahead and put that in the pinned comment, or in a pinned comment on the comment section of this video. So if you want to check that out, I will go ahead and do that for you. But for the sake of this video and to try to keep this video short, I am going to just get to that portion of the video so that way I try to keep this video as short and as clean as possible. So with that being said, if you guys do enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Operaomnia content. Of course, there will be timelines in the description of the video, or you will be able to see it on the video itself. And of course, I will also focus on some of the key things on the upcoming changes in terms of like Exdeath and Lion when it comes to her LD and Exdeath's BT. So I will focus on all of that while I'm talking about these two characters, and of course Ciaran as well with his LD extension. So don't worry, I will still focus on some key notes on these three characters. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. Let's first talk about Ciaran's LD extension. We'll move on to Lion, and then finally we'll end it off with Exdeath. So to Ciaran's LD extension, he did get an additional use to his LD, so now he has up to 4 uses. He did get an increase in brave hits, potency as well. He did get an extension to 2 of his buffs and whatnot. He did get a couple changes. He actually got a good amount of changes to his LD extension, helping him out and helping the party out as well. And of course, you know, one of the big things about Ciaran, aside from the strong party auras that he has from the overhead that he provides, he also provides some strong, solid battery, which is, you know, great to have on top of like what he already provides. I know that there is like a few things that, you know, some people might say negatively about him, but like the overall thing that he does have about him would definitely be like the overhead part about him, you know, providing some good strong auras about him. So with his LD extension, the fact that he does get an improvement to his brave regen, the brave damage dealt up to the party now given a 30%, and to himself now a 60%, will definitely help him out in terms of the amount of brave damage that he is dealing. And he's also now providing the party with a 20% HP damage delta, which is not too shabby actually, compared to, again, what he is already providing to the party via his overhead. Aside from that though, I mean, like if you are needing a damage dealer, you know, like a pretty good damage dealer, like I'm not gonna say like he's like you know, like a Tifa or like a Van damage dealer or anything like that. But like if you are needing somebody who is like saying like providing some good auras, but at the same time, you know, that is battering the party up and you know, doing, you know, like a mixture of like things here and there, Ciaran is not a bad pickup to have overall. If you're wanting to pick up his LD now, I can't remember when his LD does get reran from here until, let's say, his like BT weapon does release, because you know he does have a BT now. He does have his crystal level 90, and like he becomes freaking stacked later on, but that's like 8 months from now. So like, you know, picking up his LD now, like say like you wanted to get prepared and like get his stuff now, so that way, like, if you already know like what his BT weapon does, and all you have to do later on in about 8 months is pick up his BT weapon then, and make things easier for you. It's not a bad idea. That's what a lot of players, including myself, tend to do, so that that way, that'll be like one less thing you have to worry about in terms of pulling for multiple things. But no, overall though, I mean, like, if you are needing like a good character in terms of like battery from multiple skills, and a good somebody who provides some pretty good auras from his overhead, then I would say that Ciaran's not a bad pickup. Now let's move on to Lion, and then we'll briefly talk about her, and then finally we'll end it off with Exdeath. Now for Lion and her rework and her LD weapon. So with her LD weapon, actually fixes something really big of an issue, which, I mean, to me, I guess it really wasn't too much of an issue when you kind of look at it, because like it was something unique about Lion that not a lot of characters had in the game. So like with Lion's kit, if you don't know like how her kit operated, basically you had to attack enemies that was not targeting Lion to make her efficient, like in terms of like having Lion deal weakness damage on the enemy. Now, if she were to attack somebody that was targeting her, if the enemy was targeting Lion, then that means that Lion would not be dealing weakness damage. Lion would actually be dealing less damage to the enemy. So that is her kit. Her kit basically is kind of like, she would be like that sneaky Lion, where she would actually attack the enemy from behind, meaning that she would be doing a kind of like a preemptive attack, basically, right? Like if you play Final Fantasy games, then you would know, what I'm talking about. So that means that she would have like that first attack before the enemies would do something. Now, with her LD weapon though, aside from the attack, aside from the additional attack that she gets after she deals any HP attack, right? Or from her skills, from a C65, because C65 does deal HP damage. She actually grants herself a buff called Bully. Now, Bully does give her, a few things in terms of like attack, overflow. She actually does get critical brave damage up. But the one thing that actually like really like in terms like, I guess like quote unquote fixes Lion is that it ignores the condition for not being targeted, which means that she does not have to worry about having to focus on targeting enemies that are not targeting her. So that means she can freely attack anybody on the field, which is great, because that helps out in a couple of situations when you think about it. Because like, say for example, if you're trying to help out in like trying to shave off like a good amount of brave, seeing as how if you have that Bully buff active, she will be dealing weakness damage. Critical brave damage is what she will be doing. So that will help out in shaving off that big amount of brave that the enemy has built up. So when you think about it, that actually does come in, it comes in hand for certain situations like that. Now there is another thing that she actually does get from that as well. Whenever you fully limit break, you give her character boards, so on and so forth. If I'm actually trying to find real quick while I am doing this, so with her Bully, while her Bully is active, her brave attack actually turns into brave attack Bully. So how this works is that whenever you use brave attack Bully, which is a 4-hit melee brave attack, right? When the attacking enemy is not targeting herself, right? She does deal weakness damage, obviously. But then she actually moves to the next turn to the right after the selected ally. So basically, if you play with like Onion Knight, Ash, you know that they have that like turn shenanigans. Onion Knight with his LD weapon, Ash, after you use her LD weapon, and then you use her Queen's Order ability with her HP attack. So in a way, she has turn shenanigans where she can actually go behind next to your teammates in the turn order. So like you have another opportunity to be able to use Lion in case you are still needing help in trying to shave the enemy in case you get yourself in a tight situation. So, you know, another potential reason, like if you're still trying to figure out whether or not it is worth pulling for a Lion's LD weapon. So aside from that, I mean, like, you know, she does not provide anything to the party. She is a selfish DPS character. Her numbers are not going to be like insanely high. I will let you know that right now. Like, it's not going to be anything high. You know, she does, in my opinion, like some average numbers. But aside from that, I mean, like the fact that you do get that constant weakness damage with that bully buff active is actually a really good thing. And having that critical brave damage up on her kit already, and if you combine her with, like, say, Barrett's, if you did decide to pull for Barrett's kit, and if you have max stacks on Barrett's his LD ability with his buff, then you know, you are actually going to be doing some strong brave damage with Lion herself, or just any support character in general with Lion. So, you know, kind of think about it when it comes to in terms of Lion. You know, having that constant weakness damage is actually not a bad thing, because I mean, like, hey, you know, for certain situations like that, and you have a bit of turn shenanigans with a brave attack bully, and that brave attack bully actually does not revert back. It actually stays to brave attack bully as long as you have that bully buff active, which that bully buff active stays on her for 12 turns. So not too bad of a buff duration, in my opinion. So but you know, not bad. I mean, I used Lion for, you know, a few weeks, but, you know, of course, I mean, with, you know how it is on the JP side. Whenever new toys come, of course, everybody's wanting to play around with the new toys. So I didn't really use Lion for as much as I wanted to use Lion. But, you know, just from like seeing all of the info from the translations here or not, you know, you can just tell that, I mean, like, she definitely has her uses in certain situations. So, you know, it just depends on whether or not you need a character like Lion for those type of situations. So let's move on to Exdeath, and then we'll talk about his BT weapon, and then we'll end the video off with that. Finally, we're ended off with Exdeath, the tree himself. So I do want to talk about his BT effect at the minimum before I give my opinions on him. So his BT effect, which lasts for 3 actions. Yes, I know, it's a very short, probably one of the no, I think it is the shortest duration of a BT effect ever. So each time that an enemy/ally's turn begins, it deals HP damage to all enemies based on 300% of his own attack, and this attack cannot incapacitate enemies, or basically it just means it can't kill the enemy. Each time that an enemy/ally's turn begins, it recovers brave to the party based on 100% of his own attack. So with that being said, seeing as how it is a short BT effect, some people might just feel a little bit ill about that, thinking about, well, if it's a short BT effect, what's the point of a player picking that up? Well, I mean, you'd actually be surprised that some player, including myself, I will not hide behind a rock and you know, act like I'm Mr. like honorable here, because like even myself, when I saw that, I was like, that is very short. Why would I want that? So when this got released on the JP side, I saw it and I was like, I mean, why would I want that? But then, like, after like experimenting with like friend support Exdeath, and I saw the amount of damage that the I guess like his the effect, let's say that. So the effect, his BT effect, and how much damage it did whenever like the enemy acted, whenever I acted, and like literally anything that I did. 665 BT effect, right? Abilities, BT effect. Call abilities, BT effect. And the extra damage that it did in between any type of action that happened during the battle, I'm like, okay, this is kind of a game changer here in a way, because like that extra damage is actually pretty nice to have, you know? So like when you really look at it, like you can actually take advantage of Exdeath's BT effect even with using a friend Exdeath and bringing yourself characters, because Exdeath is already a slow character as it is, right? So if you were to bring characters that gives themselves like turns, right, that is able to take advantage of the turn order, like take example, let's say Terra, right? Terra with her LD ability, she gives herself and freaking extends throughout the whole turn order thing, and she like has like what, four turns to herself after she uses her LD ability. So just imagine throughout those 4 turns that Terra is dealing damage, and then you also have Exdeath's BT effect also dealing damage at the same time. Yeah, that is, you know, you can do a lot of things in between all of that. You really can. You know what I mean? Especially if like say like you have another BT effect. Just imagine going into a BT phase with your own BT attack, and then you have a friend Exdeath while you are doing that. You know, you can actually do some pretty nasty shenanigans right there. So like take example, like if you were to somewhat, I know it's not exactly the same, but like if you were to treat it like a Cloud of Darkness, right? Because Cloud of Darkness, of course, she does have those follow-ups after you do, after you do any of your abilities, right? Except that with Exdeath, she actually he actually does you know, his effect even before the enemy acts. You know, you have in a way like some crazy shenanigans that you can actually deal with Exdeath. But you know, like the Terra thing is an example. There are some other units that has, you know, that has like those turn shenanigans as well. Now if we want to talk about Exdeath in general, like Exdeath in general, he is a gravity based character. You know, he is one of those characters that is mainly used for those situational type of battles where like if by chance the enemy does not allow you to shave off a tremendous amount of brave and you're only dealing 1 brave damage, 0 brave damage, or the enemy just doesn't let you do jack, you know what, right? Exdeath or anybody who deals gravity based attacks is your guy. So if you're needing a character who is needing to shave off that tremendous amount of gravity, or excuse me, tremendous amount of brave, and you are needing to do gravity based damage, Exdeath is definitely your man. His BT and his BT effect being that it is short, you can still take advantage of that, and you can really go ham as long as you plan out your team comps, or as a friend Exdeath, you can really do some crazy shenanigans. I know that it is a short BT effect, but best believe there is ways that you can actually take advantage of it. And believe me, like this is global. Like some of y'all global players, I've seen you guys do some crazy shenanigans, and I know you guys can do some crazy shenanigans with Exdeath's BT effect. So, you know, is he a must pull? I don't think he's a must pull, but he is definitely not a BT weapon. He's definitely not a BT weapon to not overlook. Let's just say that. Like, you know, he's one to consider, right? But I know it is pretty tough because BT Plus era is literally around the corner. So, other than that, though, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I said that I was trying to aim for a shorter video, and this video is almost at 20 minutes. Gosh darn it. But oh well. But yeah, so but anyway, so that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think on these 3 characters, and yeah, take care, guys. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in my next video.